Hello. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Um, Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday. We went live at 10 o'clock in the morning on October the 24th, if you calculate by Pacific Daylight Time. Which was a fun thing to see. Posts about that on Twitter. That being a date that is important in the Lord of the Rings, which has nothing to do with what we're playing today, but that's totally fine. Oh, I missed 10 o'clock in the morning on October the 24th. I woke up at 5:30 this morning because my arm decided that it wanted to hurt. And struggled to get back to sleep, and then slept in until 11:30. So, hi Mobius Tempest. How is your day going? So I managed to get up, I managed to caption a clip, throw it up on Twitter, and sit down for stream. I haven't done much else, though. You did very little and it was great. That's good to hear. I don't know, my bicep just in the middle of sleep last night was like, hey, I'm in pain. You better wake up. No obvious reason. I think I was just like clenching my arm or something. I don't know. But so I had a period of wakefulness in the middle of the night, leading to me sleeping in a lot longer than I had intended, which is fine. Not that I got up in time for stream, which is the only thing I had scheduled for today. But wasn't my intent. So I'm excited for the game today. I'm very, very excited. It got so good last week, and then we had to end, and you all have told me that that I will finish the first one today. So I'm trusting you on that. And after that, I don't know between the games how character creation works. Whether they've streamlined it and you just keep the same tune that you had for the first game throughout, or if there is... I don't know, we'll see. Whenever we get to the second one. But got about 20 or 30 minutes left. Okay. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. And then, of course, after stream, we will head over for the Gax Pack at GaryCon Live for some wonderful TTRPG action. And tomorrow, I'm still debating what I'm going to play. This is why I usually have a spin wheel to tell me what to play next. But because I want to keep it to like a Halloween-y theme, I've got two possibilities. The Seventh Guest or American McGee's Alice. And American McGee's Alice has a lot more content warnings, but it's such a good game. I could also do Little Nightmares, or I've got so many options. The problem is, like, I don't want to drive people away, and not everybody wants kind of gory Halloween jump scare type stuff. But I was gonna do Evil Dead, which would have been that anyway. So I could finally play Alice again. I don't know. I have to decide. I may just roll a die and ignore the results. I have to put together a content warning for whichever one I play. So we'll see. That's a problem for after stream. And tomorrow. So I guess technically the room 2 would also count for like Halloween stuff. People would enjoy that. I don't know. I am undecided about where I shall go with regard to tomorrow's stream, since the original plan had not worked out. Many options. Oh, I could test and see if Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds will output in 480p on the PlayStation 2, in which case I could play that and still do a PS2 game. So, you know, I have a few choices. But I think I'm going to actually dive into the... because we've been playing it for 11 minutes already. And this loading screen seems a little faster than previous ones. Plus, I'm really excited and I want to get going. Try and get the game up on screen for you. Oh, that was fast. Hopefully you all have had wonderful brunches or lunches or dinners, or I don't know where everybody is. I remember Lord Portico was talking about brunch. Why does this screen look completely unfamiliar to me? Dinner time in the UK for you. I had effectively some coffee cake. But yeah, where we are. Let's activate the control panel.
Vigil's data file worked. I've got control of all systems.
Quick! Open the station's arms! Maybe the fleet can take Sovereign down before he regains control of the station.
See if you can open a communications channel.
The Destiny Ascension. Main drives offline. Kinetic barriers down 40%. The Council is on board. I repeat, the Council is on board.
Normandy to the Citadel. Normandy to the Citadel. Please tell me that's you, Commander.
I'm here, Joker.
We caught that distress call, Commander. I'm sitting here in the Andurra sector with the entire Arcturus fleet. We can save the Ascension. Just unlock the relays around the Citadel and we'll send the cavalry in.
Are you sure about this, Shepard? Human casualties will be very high if you send your fleet in now.
This is bigger than humanity. Sovereign's a threat to every organic species in the galaxy.
True. That's why you can't waste reinforcements trying to save the Council. You must hold them back until the Citadel arms open up and the human fleet can go after Sovereign.
What's the order, Commander? Come in now to save the Ascension, or hold back?
How am I supposed to make that decision? I don't know what any of these actually will do. Okay.
Opening the relays now, Joker. We need to save the Ascension. What the cost?
I hope the Council appreciates this.
It was Cadence. Hi, Lord Portico.
Alliance ships, move in. Save the Destiny Ascension.
Commander, we're picking up reinforcements. It's the Alliance. Thank the goddess.
Come on, Joker, you got this. A lot of casualties.
Destiny Ascension, you are all clear. Repeat, you are all clear.
Honestly, that's part of the reason.
Opening. All ships move in. Concentrate on Sovereign.
The humans have something to prove.
Make sure he's dead.
He's dead.
Okay. Apparently. Great! Now he's a zombie. Oh no, he just exploded? No, no, he's a zombie. Well, this is certainly appropriate for the season.
I am sovereign.
Jesus.
This nation is mine.
Wait. It still labels him as Saren, but he just said, I am sovereign. Regardless, he's gonna die. You and your ugly ass zombified face are going out. Oh, hi. Let's not have additional ads. Thank you. I'm a little busy. Oof. Squid ship down. Aw, I was hoping they'd take it out.
Negative. This is our only chance. Take that monster down no matter what the cost.
Do it. Having cutscenes in the middle of a battle is a little difficult. Oh, shiza. Holy mackerel. I almost died. Let's hide and heal again. And he got all his shields back while I was in the cutscene. Okay. This is surprisingly not as difficult a fight as the first time I fought him. I think Saren was a better fighter than Sovereign. What in the hell? Okay. That was some explosive vomit. Wait, are we in a computer simulation? The way he disintegrated like that, I was like, are we in the Matrix?
Its shields are down. Now's our chance.
Hit it with everything we got.
Come on, kill the ship.
Hard on my flank. We're going
Normandy even have weapons? Apparently. Well, that was easier than I expected.
Go!
I guess, because I played Andromeda first, I was thinking, like, the Tempest didn't have weapons, so...
Take it easy. It's over. You're safe now. Where's the commander?
No way that we die. We die? Oh, and the smile on Caden's face! It was there! It was small, but it was there!
Ambassador, Captain, Commander Shepard, we have gathered here to recognize the enormous contributions of the Alliance forces in the war against Sovereign and the Geth.
Many humans lost their lives in the battle to save the Citadel. Brave and courageous soldiers who willingly gave their lives so that we, the Council, might live.
There is no greater sacrifice, and we share your grief over the tragic loss of so many noble men and women.
The Council also owes you a great personal debt, Commander, one we can never repay. You saved not just our lives, but the lives of billions from Sovereign and the Reapers.
Commander Shepard, your heroic and selfless actions serve as a symbol of everything humanity and the Alliance
They did.
stand for.
And though we cannot bring back those valiant soldiers who gave their lives to save ours, we can honor their memories through our actions.
Humanity has shown it is ready to stand as a defender and protector of the galaxy. You have proved you are worthy to join our ranks and serve beside us on the Citadel Council.
Counselor, on behalf of humanity...
Just don't put Udina on the Council.
...for this prestigious honor, and humbly accept.
We will need a list of potential candidates to fill humanity's seat on the Council.
Given all that has happened, I am sure your recommendation will carry a great deal of weight, Commander.
Well, then it
Do you
won't
support
be
your
Udina.
candidate?
We need someone with the courage to stand up for what he believes in. Someone like Captain Anderson.
Him? You must be joking. Anderson prefers to let his fists do the talking.
Only with you, Ambassador. Only with you.
Are you sure about this, Commander? The captain's a soldier, not a politician.
I'm not
I'd
picking
rather
you.
have the captain on the council than any politician I know.
I think it's an inspired choice. The Council would welcome him with open arms, should he accept.
I'm honored, Counselor.
I finally got to say fuck you to Udina.
I'll do everything in my power to help the Council rebuild.
Sovereign's defeat marks the beginning of a new era for both humanity and the Council.
Not over yet.
Sovereign was only a vanguard. The Reaper fleet is still coming. Hundreds of ships, maybe thousands. And I'm gonna find some way to stop them.
Shepard's right. Humanity is ready to do its part. United with the rest of the Council, we have the strength to overcome any challenge. When the Reapers come, we must stand side by side. We must fight
Got
against
to
them
go.
as one.
I should go.
We will drive them back into dark space.
That's an interesting shot. Where is he standing? It was a good game. I had a lot of fun with it. The question is, how are they going to transition? Like, I'm really curious, because all 3 games are in one install. It's all just one thing. I'm really curious how it's going to transition from 1 to 2, whether they've built a transition in, or whether it's just I go back out to the main menu and click start on ME2, and whether I get new character customization options with ME2. Like, do I go back into a character creator, or did they make it so that the same character creation from the beginning will just carry through all 3 games? I don't know these things, and I'm really curious, because they did a ton of work upgrading the graphics of ME1. All of these people deserve so many thanks. They did an amazing job with this game, and so we are definitely watching the credits. Also, yeah, hi, Millie Glitch. I'm really enjoying this. I had played Andromeda, and that's the only one I played. And I played it, I downloaded it in, I want to say like February or March of 2020, before the world shut down. And so then I ended up playing it. Was it? It might have been 2019. I don't remember exactly, but that's the only one I had played, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't understand why so many people didn't like it. So for me, all of this is like playing prequels to the game that I know, which is very different. I really liked Andromeda, and I'm hopeful. The new game that was kind of that a teaser was put out for, I'm hopeful that it ties in Andromeda with our galaxy, because I don't want to lose that stuff. Like, Ryder was important. Ryder was interesting. Apparently Andromeda had a ton of problems when it first launched Portico. Excluding Caden, who was my favorite character. I honestly didn't play with very many of them. So, probably Tali, because, which is why I used Tali a lot. Yeah, so timing for... So I don't know the story for ME2 or ME3. It definitely happens. Like, Andromeda happens before or during Mass Effect 3, I think, timing-wise. But since I don't know the story of 2 and 3, I don't know for sure. I found Andromeda really fun. It was the first shooter I had ever played, and I really enjoyed it. Although, even today, it has some technical glitches still in there. 1 second. I am just gonna disappear from screen for a second. Sorry, you all didn't need to see me blow my nose. So, yeah, I think the intent was for there to be an Andromeda 2 where you found the other arcs. And so the fact that the game did really poorly and like it left all of that undone. So there were no Hanar and no Quarians and no, like, all of those other races just weren't in Andromeda because they were on other arcs that we didn't encounter during that game. Yeah, the Elcor were gonna, like, they had their own arc. Hi, I am Puddleglum. We got to the end of Mass Effect 1, so we're just watching the credits and kind of chatting about Andromeda before we dive into Mass Effect 2. So the game itself, having played Andromeda as my first Mass Effect experience, this game is so much smaller. It has an excellent story, but the game itself, like, is smaller. There's less content, which I was expecting a lot more, just size-wise, extra side quests and things like that, and it had some side quests, but it wasn't nearly as big as Andromeda was. Which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, what's here is excellent and amazing, and I was just a little surprised. I was like, wait, we're already at the end? That said, you know, I've been playing Mass Effect 1 since May. So it took me 5 months to beat Mass Effect 1. Yeah, 5 months. Almost to the day, I think. Didn't Mass Effect come out, or the Legendary Edition came out on, like, the 25th of May or something? I don't remember the exact date. I'm sorry, I don't know what's up with my sinuses. They are unhappy. I've been hydrating, Millie, but thank you. Oh, we've got additional Mark Meir, Commander Shepard, Jason Singer, Fred Tatascore, Audrey. I can't keep up with him. Sorry. Trying to. Words: German, French, Italian, Polish, Spanish. Voiceover, Italian voiceover. Spanish. Local audio voiceover productions. Iberia SL. Polish. Local audio voiceover production. CD Projekt. That doesn't surprise me for the Polish portion of it. It's very unusual. The credits outlasted the music, and they didn't put in another song. The finance and payroll people, very important. Human resources, important. Although human resources could probably step up and do better in video gaming companies and actually people accountable for bad practices. Oh my. BioWare /Pandemic? administration. Yeah, a lot of people. It takes a lot of people to make these things happen. And yet, at the same time, Concerned Ape, who not the same genre. Like this and Stardew Valley are completely different things. But Concerned Ape did Stardew Valley all by himself, and it is amazing and remarkably without bugs. Declines to rant on what the very name Human Resources implies about what it does. Yeah. Or Valheim. Yeah, Valheim is also a very small studio. But yeah, it just drops you back to, like, the main screen here. That was Mass Effect 1. Alright. Extras? Grins about what's about to start. Got the Medal of Honor, the Medal of Heroism, the Distinguished Service Medal, Council Legion of Merit, Honorarium of Corporate Service, Lift Mastery, Throw Mastery, Warp Mastery. We did not get Singularity, Barrier, Stasis, Damping, AI Hacking, Overload, Sabotage. We did get First Aid Specialist. No Neural Shock. Meritorious Service Medal. Archivist! Yes! That's the only one that matters. I got Archivist! Find all primary alien council races, extinct races, and non-council races Codex Entries. Completionist. Complete the majority of the game. I didn't get everything. Final Fantasy victory music plays. Medal of Exploration. Medal of Exploration 2. Medal of Exploration 3. I did not get Soldier Ally. Sentinel Ally. And look who's on the coin. Krogan, Turian, Warian. Principled. Accumulates 75% of total possible Paragon or Renegade points. Ashley who? Oh, was Ashley the Soldier Ally? I didn't even notice. Spectre Inductee. Charismatic. Search and Rescue. Colonial Savior. It did not get... Oh, those are difficulty rates. Paramore. Establish a romantic... I didn't even know this was possible! To play through a Mass Effect game without establishing a romantic relationship. So these achievements carry over to 2 or 3. But I went through Mass Effect 1 with no romantic relationship at all. Yeah, we would have done it if the game had let me. Long Service Medal, Recruit, Soldier. Cool. Okay, exit to launcher. You may lose signal. Yeah. It, for some reason, does not want to show the launcher screen. Yes, I did save Caden. I also got that fruit fly that has lazily been flying around the room, and I apologize, but it's no longer lazily flying around the room. Okay, Mass Effect 2. I'm gonna push the button. Just a ray of trans sunshine. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Rogues Gallery. Nice to have you here. And hello. How are you today? Okay. I don't know what to expect. Yeah, it's on the starting screen from ME2, so it'll just take a second for the game to capture again. Because it doesn't, for some reason it doesn't capture the launcher screen, so... Okay. Okay, we will try and keep it positive. I'm glad that you are good. Okay. You're glad you could be here for this stream? Oh dear. You're making me wonder what to expect. Okay. Press any key. Game. Shall I import my Mass Effect 1 character? We've been playing on normal. Auto level up off, subtitles on, please. Five. Vanguard. Followed the Paragon path. With notable exception. Rex survived on Virmire. Ashley Williams was killed on Virmire. Council was saved. And Commander Shepard recommended Captain Anderson for a seat on the council. Those all sound correct.
Shepard did everything right. More than we could have hoped for.
Commander Shepard uncovered the truth.
And still, it's not enough.
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack.
I know that voice.
Sending him to fight Geth. Geth. We both know they're not the real threat. The Reapers are still out there.
And it's up to us to stop them.
The Council will never trust Cerberus. They'll never accept our help, even after everything humanity has accomplished. But Shepard, they'll follow him. He's a hero, a bloody icon. But he's just one man. If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Then see to it that we don't lose him.
1 month after the devastating Geth attack on the Citadel, the galactic community struggles to rebuild. The Alliance fleet made a tremendous sacrifice to save the Citadel Council and earned humanity membership in their prestigious group. Now the Council is forced to respond to evidence that the Reapers, enormous machines that... I couldn't keep up with that. Sorry. I'm sure the text will be somewhere for me.
Disengaging FTL drives. Emission sinks active. Board is green. We are running silent.
We're wasting our time. 4 days searching up and down this sector, and we haven't found any sign of Geth activity.
3 ships went missing here in the past month. Something happened to them.
My money's on slavers. The Terminus system is crawling with them.
Picking up something on the long-range scanner. Unidentified vessel. Looks like a cruiser.
Doesn't match any known signatures.
Cruiser is changing course. Now on intercept trajectory.
Can't be. Stealth systems are engaged. There's no way a Geth ship could possibly...
It's not the Geth. Brace for evasive maneuvers!
What? are they? Joker, fly away!
Distress beacon is ready for launch. Will the Alliance get here in time?
They'll be here? I don't know. I have no way to know. It's gonna reassure Caden.
We just need to hold on. Get everyone onto the escape shuttle. Joker's still in the cockpit. He won't abandon ship. I'm not leaving either.
There's no time to fight.
I need you to get the crew onto the evac shuttle. I'll take care of Joker. Commander! Kate, go. Now. Aye, aye.
It's like it was written specifically for the relationship that we have been shipping.
Everybody in! Go! Go! Go!
Eesh. Our ship! Oh, okay. Oh, is it really? It's whoever we have the highest relationship with? Well, that's well done, since a relationship with Hayden isn't even an option in the first game for me. At least they knew who I was. Oh hell, I have to get to the bridge.
We've suffered heavy damage from an unknown enemy. Come on, baby, all
I can
together.
keep track of a lot of things. Holy mother. Joker, how are you even alive? Is there like a shield? There is a shield.
Come on, Joker. We have to get out of here. No, I won't abandon the Normandy. I can still save her.
No, you can't, Joker.
The Normandy's lost. Going down with the ship won't change that. Yeah, okay. Help me up. They're coming around for another attack. Watch the arm.
Ow. Get in! Just go, Joker. Go! So, I know enough. Like, there have been spoilers that I have seen for certain things. I knew that the ship was going to be gone. That was really well done. Like, all I knew was that the ship was going to be gone. I didn't know how. Mass Effect Genesis is an interactive comic that summarizes the events of Mass Effect 1. Would you like to review the story so far? Since we've been playing week by week and they bothered to put it in, the answer is yes. Mass Effect Genesis, interactive backstory comic.
Just another routine mission. Why do they always say that before a mission? Of course it's routine. You haven't done anything yet. It's everything that happens along the way. The choices you make, the paths you choose, that turn the routine into anything but. Of course, that's how it started. A routine mission, answering a distress call. And look where that got me. We were testing out the Normandy, Captain Anderson's new ship, when the distress call came in. An Alliance patrol on Eden Prime had been attacked. They'd seen something they couldn't explain. And whatever it was massive. I hit the ground with my lieutenant, Caden Olenko. A good kid, loyal, by the book, with a talent for biotics. We came across the lone survivor of the patrol, Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams. A soldier to the core. Tough, disciplined, ready to take on whatever came her way. Ashley joined up with us and took us to the spot where she lost her squad. That's when we saw
so
it.
Pretty.
The ship. Like nothing I'd ever seen. It was massive, scorching the colony and everything around it as it blasted away. We followed the path of destruction to an artifact. A beacon left by a...
Can I just have Mark Meir narrate comics for me all the time now?
And whoever attacked them had tried to take it. Chief Williams made the mistake of getting too close. It hit her with some type of energy. I grabbed her and threw her out of the way. That's when it hit me.
It was almost Ashley.
Every muscle in my body went rigid. I couldn't move.
That got the message.
Breathe. Everything went black. And then I saw something. A vision. Dream. A nightmare. By the time I woke up, we were halfway to the Citadel on our way to meet the Council. I was expected to explain what I'd seen. Anderson came along. So did Adina, our political representative on the Citadel. With those two heavyweights, it seemed reasonable we could persuade the Council that the ship we'd seen was a potential threat.
Dino.
As was the individual behind the attacks. The main suspect for the Eden Prime massacre was a Turian Spectre named Saren. He'd been seen by one of the survivors from the colony at Eden Prime, and there was some evidence to suggest that the ship was connected to Saren. But even Adina's pointed accusations weren't enough to convince the Council. They just couldn't believe one of their chosen elite Spectres could be guilty of something like that. They needed proof, which meant I needed proof. Fortunately, I wasn't alone in my search. Garrus, another Turian, wanted to help. A top agent for Citadel Security. Despite orders from his superiors that he shouldn't get involved, he told me he was suspicious of Saren, and he had some useful leads. More importantly, he was willing to share them. That led me to Rex, the biggest, nastiest looking Krogan bounty hunter I'd ever seen. He turned out to be more than just a brute. It was his intel that led to a fugitive with incriminating evidence on Saren. The fugitive turned out to be an energetic little Quarian named Tali. A tech expert with a knack for hacking, she'd procured some information on Saren. Evidence that proved Saren was dirty. Tali's evidence proved that Saren was responsible for the massacre on Eden Prime, and that the immense warship we'd spotted was in fact Saren's flagship. But it went much further. Saren was trying to find a way to bring back a race of sentient machines from dark space. Machines allegedly responsible for cleansing the galaxy of all organic life. These Reapers were blamed for wiping out all life 50,000 years ago, including the Protheans, then disappearing back through the mass relays to dark space, leaving no trace they'd ever been. That explained why Saren was after the beacon, and it made some sense out of my visions. But not much else. We couldn't convince the Council that the Reapers were a threat, but they agreed Saren had to be stopped. They stripped him of his Spectre status and gave me the honor of becoming the first human Spectre. My first task? Bring down Saren. Anderson decided to stay behind, giving up his ship, the Normandy. He told me I would need a
Got my
brand
hair
new
color
one.
wrong. It's supposed to be purple.
He also pointed me in a direction. Liara, a Prothean expert, adept in biotics, and maybe most importantly, daughter of Benezia, Saren's top lieutenant. And like most Asari, as beautiful as she is intelligent, and born with a unique ability to meld with other species. Liara was able to help me decipher some of the vision the beacon had given me. Nothing concrete, but it gave me some clues. And a new appreciation for the Asari. Her technique for accessing my vision was unexpected, but not at all unpleasant. Ashley was a little concerned about the connection I shared with Liara. As commander, I knew either relationship had the potential to interfere with the mission. I decided discretion was the better part of valor, and kept my focus on our goal.
Especially since the relationship
Finding
that matters is the one with Caden.
Thanks to Liara's help, we had our next lead, Benezia. Saren had taken her to Novarian, where he'd enslaved a dangerous race of insect-like creatures, the Rachni. He ordered Benezia to use the same technique Liara had used on me to extract information from the Rachni Queen. The Queen's drones were everywhere, and they weren't happy. We had to fight through hundreds of them to get to Benezia. By the time we arrived, Saren was gone. With the information. I tried to reason with Benezia, but Saren had indoctrinated her. He had somehow acquired the ability to control people's actions and wills. Benezia wouldn't surrender, and Liara was forced to watch her mother die in her arms.
You don't have a cursor.
And
I
was left with an
would
angry,
mute my
dangerous
camera
Rachni
for you so
queen
you
to
can
deal
see the
with.
whole thing.
She claimed her drones would do no harm if I released her. But the Rachni
But I'm
had
afraid to touch any
terrorized the galaxy
buttons to mess it
before.
up.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't doom an entire species for past sins. And the Queen was true to her word. She left and took her army of drones with her. With Saren's top lieutenant dead, it was quickly running out of time and places to hide. I tracked him down at his base on Vermeer.
Got me into the
We soon
waters.
learned it was more than a base of operations.
I will sink all the way to the bottom.
It was a breeding ground. Saren was breeding an army of Krogan. He'd found a cure for the genophage, a disease inflicted on the Krogan to prevent them from breeding and taking over the galaxy. But the Krogan Saren was breeding were slaves, mindless beasts that obeyed Saren's will. I had to destroy the base, and all its research. Rex disagreed. Violently. Rex wanted the genophage cure for his people.
Yeah,
I tried
rightly
to convince
so.
him to help me destroy it, that these Krogan weren't real. But he wouldn't back down. Fortunately, Rex is smarter than he looks. He realized this wasn't the way to help his people, and that Saren was the real threat. When we finally got to the center of the base, I realized just how close Saren was to completing his plan. He was already in communication with the Reapers. Sovereign, Saren's flagship we'd all assumed was just a ship, was a Reaper. It spoke to me, threatened me. I could feel the menace it had for every living thing. It wanted me dead. It wanted us all dead. And I knew it was capable of doing just that. What I couldn't understand was why Saren would help it. But there was no time to think about it. Sovereign knew where we were. We had to destroy the base and get the hell out.
Comic is
I split up
really
my
well
team
done.
in 2 squads, sending Ash with one and Caden with the other as a
I think
distraction.
a submersible
We had a nuke.
if I'm driving it.
Use it. Before we could detonate the bomb, Saren showed up. We fought. I stalled him to make time for my team. And in talking to him, I realized the truth. It wasn't Saren who was indoctrinating everyone. It was Sovereign. The Reaper. And Saren was in deeper than all of them. He tried to convince me he was still in control. Said he found a way to reduce the Reaper's influence, but he was kidding himself. Or believing the lies Sovereign was telling him. Before I could convince him to stop, he ran, leaving me just seconds to extract my squad mates. I tried, but I wasn't fast enough. I could only save one of them. Ash was a good friend and a great soldier, but I had to choose, and I chose Caden. That was the last time Saren would slip
I
away from
did
me.
choose Caden.
I knew then, the next time we met, one of us would die. With my team mostly intact, we chased Saren and his army to Ilos, a long-lost planet that had once belonged to the Protheans. As we prepared for what we knew would be a desperate fight, I spoke to my crew. We were just one ship, against Saren's growing army. I assured them all that despite the odds, we could defeat him. I'd never tell anyone, but I had my doubts. Leaving Ashley behind had hardened my resolve, but revealed a soft spot in my defenses. How many more friends and allies would I be willing to sacrifice in order to stop Saren? We arrived on Ilos, close behind Saren. Once on the planet, we discovered a Prothean databank that helped me put the final pieces of my vision together. The Reapers had come 50,000 years ago, and every 50,000 years before that, each time purging the galaxy of life. The Protheans had fought and died, like every species before them. But a few survived long enough to leave a parting gift. The Protheans had discovered that the Citadel was the key to controlling the mass relays. By sabotaging the Citadel, they found a way to close the relays to dark space, slowing the Reapers' return, giving us the time we needed to find a solution to stop the Reapers once and for all. Saren knew this. He was leading his army to take control of the Citadel and re-establish the relays to dark space, bringing the waiting Reapers here to destroy us all. We followed him to the Citadel. It was intact, but heavily damaged. He had caught the Council fleets by surprise, and they were only now regrouping. And with Sovereign as his flagship, there was little hope the fleets could counterattack with enough strength to take back the Citadel. But Saren was done running, and I was done chasing him. As the Alliance and Citadel fleets battled Saren's army outside, I cornered the Turian bastard in the Citadel tower and confronted him. He died believing that the Reapers would save him. As I fought to regain control of the Citadel, the Council's flagship, the Destiny Ascension, fell under attack. Despite Saren's death, Sovereign
doesn't all completely track with what happened in our version of the
Council was
game.
aboard the Destiny Ascension, and they were requesting assistance. But I knew in order to help them, I would have to put our human alliance fleet in jeopardy. The Council had to be saved. They represented the hearts and minds of the galactic community. Without them, the fleets would be in disarray. Even with the Citadel back in my control, Saren defeated, and the Normandy leading the combined galactic fleet, the battle against Sovereign, a single Reaper, was relentless. It took the combined fleets of humanity and the other races, but in the end, Sovereign fell. But the costs were immense. Humanity's efforts in the war earned us our first seat on the Council. It was a hollow victory. The Reapers were still out there. I knew the fight was far from over, but as the one who'd led the fight against Saren, I was given new responsibilities. The choice of humanity's first counselor was left for me to decide. On the one hand, Udina, the lifetime politician. Ruthless and ambitious, he would easily navigate the political landmines that would soon be put in front of him. The other choice, Captain Anderson, the career soldier. Tough but fair, but a friend, and someone I could trust. Both great leaders in their own right. Anderson didn't want the job, which was a sure sign he'd be perfect for it. No ambition to get in the way. The war was over. The threat had passed. In time, the Council would rebuild itself. The Citadel could be repaired. Even the pain of lost friends would fade. But none of that mattered if the Reapers were still out there. And if they were all as powerful as Sovereign, we had to find a way to stop them. I had to find a way. I gathered my crew, took my ship, and went in search of answers. Officially, the Council would only say I was assigned to cleanup duty, rooting out any remnants of Saren's army. Just another routine mission.
Commander Shepard has been recovered. The Lazarus Project will proceed as planned.
Like a Steve Rogers thing. So wait, I died. Okay. So, I'm gonna have to. I may look at the options, but yeah, change. Yeah, no, I'm gonna look at the options, see what we want to do. I am going to take a quick break before we do that, though. Also, I have noticed that my camera position does not work for the captions in this game. So I'm going to just adjust that now. We may turn off the frame and adjust, because the captions in this game are much bigger, longer. I don't know. This will adjust over time. But I would prefer that the captions are actually visible. So I think that will take care of that. I can adjust further later. I just couldn't adjust it during the comic because I couldn't control anything during the comic. I had no cursor or anything. But yeah, give me just a couple of minutes. I will be right back. Take the time to get up and stretch, grab a beverage, use the restroom, and I'll see you shortly. Open this game up and get it back on screen for you all. Alright, I'm gonna click on custom appearance and we'll see what our options are, I guess. Hi, Orangitis. How are you? Can I not just customize the import? This is like starting over from scratch. Okay, though. Don't know. Nope. I can't edit the imported face. But it is still available, so if I... We'll do customization and we'll see, and then if we want to, we'll go back to the one that we imported. The presets are interesting. Oh! Let me try that. Doesn't... I don't see a code option. It's okay. I'll just... We'll build one. I'm okay. Right there. That is very dark. That is vampiric. Reflection. I enjoy the character creator anyway, so it's fine. We'll play around. And, you know, we can always go back to our imported face if we want to. Head. Neck thickness. I have to try the entire range there. Yeah. Look forward. That is a very thick neck. Think. Face size. I don't know. Ear size! Even the largest ones aren't bad. Sure. Alright, eye shape. Oh, I don't like that. One isn't terrible. Pretty good. 3 is awful squinty. I think it might. Nope. That one. Possibly. Don't know that there's much I need to do with eye height. That seems. All the way in. Okay. Oh, brow depth. How could you change the face that Caden secretly fell in love with? We are not for certain changing it, but I have to play with the character customizer. Look forward. Look forward. Alright, iris color. The one of the, important stuff. It's just a little bit of cosmetic. Really, if I could have just changed the hair, I would have been happy. Well, I guess you're going... They don't give me all of the options. Jaw. Skin height. Depth. Depth for them. Skin width. No. Hello. Mouth shape. I seriously have spent forever in some character customizers. So the fact that they give me limited options is probably a good thing. Like, I think I took eons in Fallout 4 in that character customizer. Oh my gosh. Not those lips. Well, no! No! I'm not done! That was too easy! Can we just have somebody build a character customizer that is the whole game, is just character customizer? Mouth depth. Got those. Well, what? That mouth. It's really hard to get him facing front again. Mouth lip size. Nose shape. In the face for that one. Hair around there isn't bad. Hair. Just want to see if there are more styles in this. But also, like, why can't I customize my import? I think that's the style that we currently have in the other one. it's still relatively limited option. Which I guess makes sense. He's supposed to be military, but he's a Spectre. He can do whatever the heck he wants. You said Spectre, not a cat? That is a interesting hairstyle. There are no... Sorry. They give me purple but not green? So I am fairly certain that this is the same exact character customizer as was in the Legendary Edition ME1. I don't think there are any new options here. So we'll probably end up just using the same as we had before. Is a dead Spectre brought back to life still a Spectre? Well, you ask the important question. But I had to play with the character customizer. And if we do have the option, I may end up changing up the hairstyle a little bit of our current one. But I'm probably gonna... I don't know. I feel like we did pretty good in recreating him in the customizer, but I actually think facial hair as the red facial hair with the purple hair, right? The yeah, we have like the vampiric skin tone on the other guy. Possibly. And got the purple eyes there, and I couldn't find them on this one. I assume there's not any way for me to alter this appearance once we actually get into the game. So any changes I want to make, I have to be able to actually... I've done a pretty good job of recreating him. Check the eyebrows and see if I can find that hair color. And I think I had the number 3 squinty eye. Facial hair color is wrong, but brow. No. Yeah, I think it is the same. I may have... It's either now or restart Mass Effect 2, which you did end up doing. Oh boy. So I think facial structure, the brow. Wherever brow height maybe? Is why the eyebrows were rendering different. Because I had a different brow height. And then the nose. That may be the nose. Eye color. Wrong. Okay, let's see how well I did. The facial hair color is wrong. I really just wanted to give him a slightly better complexion. There. Oh, no, go back. I still want to compare. Yeah. I went from the super pale and so now he's basically the same guy but with a little bit of a tan. His mouth is a little bit smaller, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, all that time exposed to the vacuum of space gave them some color. Someday I will have to show you all what my rider looks like in Andromeda. Yeah, all those UV rays made for a really great tan at the cellular level. All right, I'm gonna go with this. Also, I'm going to. Okay, I took a print screen so that I will have that code when we get to Mass Effect 3 in case we decide we want to make some alterations then. So, you know, I may forget that. Actually, I should check. Did I do the same? Did I do that? Yeah, you can copy and paste. I'm just gonna check. I may have done a print screen before. I'm just gonna look and see. I probably didn't. Yeah, I did not. But this time I have it. I will drop it in my Twitch stuff so that I have it in case when we get to the third game I want it. Okay. Let's move onward. I still think Vanguard. I don't know how this game's gameplay is going to change. I was definitely using the sniper rifle a lot in the last one, but I do like having the biotics as an option. Soldier gets weapon training and sniper rifle. Infiltrator. That's it. Sentinel. Adept. Engine. There is no class that combines sniper rifles and biotics. The only one that gets training in sniper rifle is soldier. Biotic charge, pull, shockwave, weapon training, shotgun, heavy pistol, submachine gun, ammo training, incendiary, and cryo. Relation armor system. Tech and biotic. Vanguard is like soldier and biotic. Weapons and guys, I do think Vanguard if it's a significant change from the last game in how the game mechanics are going to work, go ahead and tell me, Mobius. Okay. I don't even know if, because it really depends on the game. In Andromeda, I didn't use them at all, but in Mass Effect 1, I used it almost exclusively. So we'll see. I do like Vanguard for the mix of biotics and weapons. So okay, we're going Vanguard. Those were the hardest decisions in the game so far. As they were the first decisions in the game so far. Okay. Aecon Shepard. Colonist. Sole Survivor. Vanguard. Profile registration complete. Click Accept to progress. He looks slightly healthier after having been resurrected. Just another routine character selection screen. Yeah. Once you confirm your character is complete, you will be unable to change any settings. Confirm.
Something's wrong. He's reacting to outside stimuli, showing an awareness of his surroundings. My God, Miranda, I think he's waking up.
Damn it, Wilson. He's not ready yet. Give him the sedative. Shepard, don't try to move. Just lie still. Try to stay calm.
Heart rate's still climbing. Brain activity is off the charts. Stats pushing into the red zone. It's not working.
Another dose. Now.
Heart rate dropping. Stats falling back into normal range. That was too close. We almost lost him.
I told you your estimates were off. Run the numbers again.
Who are you and why is your face so close to mine?
Wake up, Commander.
Ooh, I've got new scars.
Do you hear me? Get out of that bed now. This facility is under attack. Shepard, your scars aren't healed, but I need you to get moving. This facility is under attack. There's a pistol in the locker on the other side of the room. Hurry! Grab the pistol and armor from the locker.
Ah! So much going on!
You don't have time to wait around, Shepard. Grab your weapon and armor.
This pistol doesn't have a thermal clip.
It's a med bay. We'll get you a clip from... Damn it! Those canisters by the door. Keep your head down, Shepard. Shield yourself from the blast.
What the? All the controls are different! Okay. I just need 1 second here. I have 9,000 palladium, 9,000 iridium, 9,000 platinum, and 9,000 element 0. Like the beginning of Subnautica. Well, the beginning of Subnautica, you were not on a timer. Oh, first chance to save. I will do that. One moment. Option. Controls. Access is fine. Sensitivity is fine. Stick configuration. That is very limited. Key bindings. WASD. Walk, left control. Use, cover, and sprint is spacebar. Which is not what it was in the previous game. Shoot. Aim. Reload. Melee, holster weapon. Command HUD, hold left shift. That was the spacebar. The left shift and spacebar have switched. Your brain has been dead for some time and restarted. The neural pathways to your extremities probably changes a bit. Oh, yeah, I mean, you'll die of starvation if you don't do stuff, but otherwise, like, you're not on a timer for the ship blowing up bit in Subnautica. Right. Okay. So I think I just need to switch left shift and spacebar. Interesting, Tony. Okay. That should switch them to the controls that I've had. I still wish there was a jump button. Save game. Also, it tells me I leveled to level 4. I have 6 squad points? Incendiary ammo, cryo ammo, charge. Shockwave, full. Oh, man. This is a much shorter list. No jump. You have to have rank 2 of incendiary ammo in order to get cryo ammo. That is interesting. Okay. There's so much going on! We have new Codex Entries. Do I read them now? I mean, that makes sense.
The Asari were the first species to discover the Citadel. When the Solarians arrived, it was the Asari who proposed the establishment of the Citadel Council to maintain peace throughout the galaxy. Since then, the Asari have served as the mediators and centrists of
We could have Mark Mir talk to us.
Female race race, the Asari reproduce through a form of parthenogenesis. They can attune their nervous system to that of another individual of any gender and of any species.
This is just information flashing through my mind in the moment as my brain boots up.
Rumors about Asari promiscuity. Asari can live for over 1,000 years, passing through 3 stages of life. In the maiden stage, they wander restlessly, seeking new knowledge and experience. When the matron stage begins, they meld with interesting partners to produce their offspring. This ends when they reach the matriarch stage, where they assume the roles of leaders and counselors. The second species to join the Citadel, the Solarians, are warm-blooded amphibians with a hyperactive metabolism. Solarians think fast, talk fast, and move fast. To Solarians, other species seem sluggish and dull-witted. Unfortunately, their metabolic speed leaves them with a relatively short lifespan. Solarians over the age of 40 are a rarity. The Solarians were responsible for advancing the development of the primitive Krogan species to use as soldiers during the Rachni Wars. They were also behind the creation of the genophage bioweapon the Turians used to quell the Krogan rebellions several centuries later. Solarians are known for their observational capability.
These appear to be the same entries we had in Mass Effect 1.
An aptitude for research and espionage. They are constantly experimenting and inventing, and it is generally accepted that they always know more than they are letting on. Roughly 1,200 years ago, the Turians were invited to join the Citadel Council to fulfill the role of galactic peacekeepers. The Turians have the largest fleet in Citadel space, and they make up the single largest portion of the Council's military forces. As their territory and influence has spread, the Turians have come to rely on the Solarians for military intelligence and the Asari for diplomacy. Despite a somewhat colonial attitude towards the rest of the galaxy, the ruling hierarchy understands they would lose more than they would gain if the other 2 races were ever removed. Turians come from an autocratic society that values discipline and possesses a strong sense of personal and collective honor. There is lingering animosity between Turians and humans over the First Contact War of 2157, which is known as the Relay 314 incident to the Turians. Officially, however, the 2 species are allies, and they enjoy civil, if cool, diplomatic relations.
Okay. Should I go through the rest of these, or should I do the battle? Because these will be here for us. We can do them another time. I have an hour and 15 minutes left in the stream. And those 3 entries were identical to the ones that we had in Mass Effect 1. I'm thinking I come back. Save Joker! Oh, that was... I already did that. Okay. Like, what? You've regained consciousness in some kind of... Yeah, it's a lot of them, so I'm thinking I want to do it, like, at the top of stream instead of with, like, just starting the game and not much time left. You've regained consciousness in some kind of medical facility. You must find your way to safety. Finish your training to prove you are ready for active duty. Okay. It doesn't auto-enter cover anymore.
Look for a thermal clip for your pistol. Looks like they set up a barricade to try holding the mechs off.
Hold W. Okay, I'm trying to do it, but it's not doing it. Yeah. Oh, got it. Okay.
We need to get to the shuttles.
it feels different, but it is, it's fine. We're gonna manage it. Alright, I have incendiary ammo as 1. Charge is Unity. Okay, so this is supposed to be 7. This can go to 6. That can go to 5. That... The controls just feel a little bit different, so it's just taking me a second to get used to it. But I think that's the whole point of this section. Also, where the heck am I? What is this place? It feels a lot like Andromeda. The environments in Andromeda.
Shepard, security mechs are closing in on your position. Take cover.
Okay. Wait.
Nice work, Shepard. Coast is
Oh! That biotic ability does not do what I thought it did. It moved me. It didn't just attack somebody from afar. It shot me out.
Don't waste time. I can't keep the mechs distracted for long.
I don't know where I'm going. And who are you?
More reinforcements. Here come the mechs. Use the grenade launcher to take them out.
Grenade launcher?
Take the elevator down 1 floor.
There's fire.
Get to the door. Run. You're doing great, Shepard. Head to the next room and I'll try to beat you. Shepard, read me. I've got them closing in on my position.
What's in here?
Progress is slow, but subject shows signs of recovery. Major organs are again functional, and there are signs of rudimentary neurological activity. In an effort to accelerate the process, we've moved from simple organic reconstruction of the subject to biosynthetic fusion. Initial results show promise. Progress is slow, but subject shows signs of recovery. Major organs are again functional, and there are signs of rudimentary neurological activity. In an effort to accelerate the process,
Log update. The cost of this project is astronomical. Over 4 billion credits so far. But nobody seems to care that we've gone over budget. I don't know where the boss gets all his money. Maybe it's better not to know. I just wish he'd kick a little more in my direction once in a while.
Apparently we were expensive. Rightly so. What is it? And how do I interact with it? Can I interact with it? Like I should be able to. It flashes that thing. Oh, it's ammo. I'm full. Gotcha. We're not on the Citadel, are we? Ah! Oh.
you were still a work in progress.
Are you with Miranda?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot this is all new to you right now. I'm Jacob Taylor. I've been stationed here for—
Hostiles detected.
Damn it!
What's with all the robots?
Things must be worse than I thought if Miranda's got you running around. I'll fill you in, but we better get you to the shuttle first.
Just a few questions first.
I know this isn't the best time, but I'm sick of stumbling around when I don't know what's going on.
Fair enough. I'll give you the quick version.
Thanks.
You and your ship were attacked and destroyed. You were killed. Dead as dead can be when they brought you here. Our scientists spent the last 2 years putting you back together. You've been comatose, or worse, that whole time. Welcome back to your life.
Huh?
This doesn't look like an Alliance facility.
It isn't. I can't say much more than that for now. The Alliance officially declared you killed in action. The whole galaxy thinks you're dead.
I
If
am!
you can get to those shuttles, they'll be right.
Were there any other survivors from the Normandy?
I'll tell you what. You help me finish off these mechs, and I'll play 20 questions with you all day. We're low on thermal clips, but I'm a biotic. Just give the order when you want me to hit them with the good stuff.
Go for it.
Subdue and suppress.
Pull. Okay, but also, can I just have pull be there? Please? Thank you.
Come on over. That's it. They're falling back. I've got him. Okay. I promised I'd answer your questions. What do you want to know?
Everything!
What's your job here?
Depends on who you ask. Technically, I'm Miranda's top lieutenant, but I'm just a soldier. I served 5 years in the Alliance before this. Now I'm in charge of the station's security. Usually a lot more dull than this. Normally I don't fire my gun unless it's target practice.
Okay, but you're traveling with us, right? You're coming with us when we leave this place, because you're pretty awesome and I want you around.
Somebody spent 2 years rebuilding me? How bad were my injuries?
I'm no doctor, but it was bad. When I first saw you, you were nothing but meat and tubes. Anywhere else, they'd have put you in a coffin. But Project Lazarus was different. Cutting-edge technology.
Yeah, it does seem that they used some cutting edges on me.
What do you mean? Cloning? Cybernetics?
I don't know the details. You'd have to ask the scientists. But I'm pretty sure you're not a clone. They wanted to bring you back exactly as you were. You're still you. You just might have a few extra bits and pieces now.
Congratulations. Welcome to retirement.
What can you tell me about the project? Were there other test subjects?
Project Lazarus only had one subject. The whole point was to bring you back. Just you. Even that was a challenge. 2 years. All the top scientists. The best technology money could buy.
You said they spent 2 years rebuilding me? How bad were my
I think I clicked that one already, but...
I'm no doctor, but it was bad.
Yeah.
When I first saw you, you were nothing but meat and tubes. Anywhere else, they'd have put you in a coffin. But Project Lazarus was different. Cutting-edge technology.
Do you know anything about this attack? Who's behind it? What they're after?
Damned if I know. I was getting ready for some shut-eye, then bam! Bunch of explosions.
That is a good question, Portico.
Every damn mech in the place starts shooting at us. I'm guessing it had to be an inside job. You'd need top security access to hack all the mechs.
Yeah?
The last thing I remember is
Where's
the door
Caden?
blowing up. Did anyone else make it?
And Joker.
Just about everybody survived. A few servicemen from the lower decks didn't get out. Navigator Presley was killed by an explosion. But everyone else, including the non-Alliance crew, the Asari, Liara, and the Quarian, they all made it out alive.
Do you know what any of them are doing now?
I don't know, Commander. It's been 2 years. They've moved on. Left the Alliance. Could be anywhere.
I want to find them.
They were my team. If they knew I was alive, they'd come back.
Maybe you can track them down after we get off the station. If we get off the station.
When I first woke up, someone named Miranda was talking to me over the radio. We lost contact just before I ran into you.
Miranda Lawson is the station's ranking officer. She led the Lazarus team. It was her job to bring you back to life, no matter what. Should have guessed she'd try to save you. She's not about to give up on you now. You said you lost contact. Could you tell what was happening?
There was some gunfire and an explosion right before I lost her.
Broke up.
She knows how to take care of herself.
Hi, Galara
I
Dragon.
hope she's okay.
What's the quickest way to those shuttles?
Depends where the mechs are thickest. It's probably best if we...
Check. Anyone on this frequency? Anybody still alive out there? Hello?
Wilson, this is Jacob. I'm here with Commander Shepard. Just took out a wave of mechs over in D-Wing.
Shepard's alive? How the hell? Never mind. You need to get him out of there. Get to the service tunnels and head for the network control room.
Roger that, Wilson. Stay on this frequency.
I think I remember a Wilson checking on me one time when I woke up.
That's him. He's the chief medical tech. Answers directly to Miranda. Come on. The service tunnels are this way.
Okay. Wait. Yes?
Log update. The Lazarus project is about to enter the final phase. It's taken nearly 2 years, but we did it. Commander Shepard is alive. This is the most amazing medical achievement in recorded history. Maybe now Miranda will finally show some appreciation for everything I've done.
Okay, so ammo is a thing. That's new.
Crawling with mechs.
The whole station is crawling with mechs. I'm doing the best I can.
I do like the shield graphic. When it recharges, it shows you.
They found me. Help!
Wilson, where are you?
Server room B! Hurry! They're out of control!
Up those stairs, Shepard.
God, I'm hit! They shot me!
Hey. Don't sound like they shot you.
Shepard, down here! Bastards got me in the leg!
Where are they now, then? I think he just shot himself in the leg. There are no mechs around, or they'd be shooting at me right now. There's no way he took them out.
You were there the first time I regained consciousness.
Yeah, that was me. How about we talk about this after we fix my leg?
Should be some Metagel in the first aid station on the wall. Hopefully there's enough to get him up and moving again.
Grab the Metagel from the first aid station on the wall.
I got it. Wait a second while I look around. I don't believe you. Hold spacebar to access over the Unity power, which is...
Thanks, Shepard. Never thought you'd save my life. Guess that makes us even now, huh? I thought maybe I could shut down the security mechs, but whoever did this fried the whole system. Completely irreversible.
We didn't ask what you were doing. Why do you even have security mech clearance? You were in the bio wing.
Weren't you listening? I came here to try and fix this. Besides, I was shot. How do you explain that?
I don't trust any of you yet.
You're all strangers to me. Let's get someplace safe, then we'll sort out whose fault it is.
Right, Shepard. We need to find Miranda. We can't leave her behind.
Forget about Miranda. She was over in D-Wing.
You killed
the
her.
mechs were all over that sector.
Didn't you?
There's no way she survived.
A bunch of mechs won't drop Miranda. She's alive.
Then where is she? Why haven't we heard from her?
It was
There are only
interference.
two possible explanations. She's either dead or she's a traitor.
I think you're the traitor. But, okay.
Then why did you wake me up and warn me about the attack?
Okay, maybe she's not a traitor, but that doesn't change the facts. We're here, she's not. We need to save ourselves. The shuttle bay is only a few. Overload the canister to clear a path to the shuttles. That's it. Let's get out of here.
Okay, we took him down, but this is getting tense. Shepard, if I tell you who we work for, will you trust me?
This really isn't the time, Jacob.
Yes, it is.
We won't make it if he's expecting a shot in the back.
If you want to piss off the boss, it's your ass.
I am expecting a shot in the back.
Project, the program that rebuilt you. It's funded and controlled by Cerberus.
Have I heard of Cerberus before? I can't remember. They were mentioned.
I wiped out my share of Cerberus projects when I was a Spectre. Back then they were trying to kill me. Why the change of heart?
Those answers are way above my pay grade. But basically, things change. The Alliance declared you dead. They gave up. Cerberus spent a fortune to bring you back. Look, I'd be suspicious too. But right now we have to work together. I thought you deserved to know what's what.
I like Jacob.
Once we're off the station, I'll take you to the elusive man. He'll explain everything. I promise.
Elusive man?
Is he in charge of all this?
Yeah, that's not his real name.
I don't like Wilson.
Nobody knows who he really is.
It was a code name the Alliance used for him. Kinda stuck.
Well, if I won't get any more answers here, let's get moving.
It's not much farther to the shuttle bay.
Let's do Paragon. Where's this data pad? I got credits from the data pad? Okay. This is the tutorial. Doesn't feel like a tutorial. I already got Headhunter. 30 headshots. I'm guessing that carried over from the last game. Tony, I am. This is new. Oh, I can't even go into it. In Mass Effect 1, I was mostly Paragon, but a few key times I went Renegade instead.
Sensors activated. Initiated.
Go.
Test subject has been recovered, but the damage is far worse than we initially feared. In addition to the expected burns and internal injuries from the explosion, subject has suffered significant
I missed most of that.
Been recovered, but the damage is far worse than we initially feared. In addition to the expected burns and internal injuries from the explosion, subject has suffered significant cellular breakdown due to long-term exposure to vacuum and sub-zero temperatures. Despite the extent of the physical trauma, Wilson assures me subject is salvageable. The Lazarus project will proceed as planned.
Highlight individual nodes to find matching symbols. When you've found 2 matching symbols, select them to complete the circuit. Complete all circuits before you run out of time. Honestly, easier than the Frogger game. I did not like the Frogger. I got pretty good at it, but I didn't really like it.
Come on, through here. We're almost at the... Miranda, but you are...
Dead?
What the hell are you doing?
My job. Wilson betrayed us all.
I mean, I did sort of expect that.
I had a feeling Wilson was just looking for a chance to shoot me in the back.
Good instincts. Some people are far too trusting to ever see that coming. Come on, let's grab this shuttle and get out of here. My boss wants to speak to you.
I haven't, Tony.
Elusive man? I know you work for Cerberus.
Ah, Jacob. I should have known your conscience would get the better of you.
Lying to the commander isn't the way to get him to join our cause.
Well, since we're getting everything out in the open, is there anything else you want to ask before we go, Commander?
Yes! Everything! Tell me everything!
Convenient that you show up as we're leaving. Where were you during the attack?
Besides trying to save your life, Wilson figured out I was helping you and he sent an army of mechs to take me out. I got here as soon as I could. Probably a little too soon if you ask Wilson.
What about the rest of the people on the station?
This is the evac area. If they're not here now, they're not coming.
Oh, they've got... Miranda looks like her voice actor? Von Strahovski. I haven't seen it, Tony. I haven't seen Wipeout either. I'm aware of what it is, but... Interesting.
We can't leave without knowing for sure. We need to go back and look.
Don't you get it? The only one worth saving is you. Everyone else is expendable.
She's right. We all knew the risks when we signed up. Without you, there's no point to any of this.
Where are we going?
Another Cerberus facility. The elusive man is waiting for you there.
I'm not sure I trust you.
This is the only shuttle off the station. You want to stay and rot with the mechs? Be my guest.
You're the Lazarus Project's director, aren't you?
That's right. I put 2 years of my life into this project. Into you.
Why?
What does Cerberus want from me?
Maybe you should ask the elusive man when you meet him. He poured virtually unlimited resources into Lazarus. Obviously, he has some kind of plan for you.
I've had enough of this station to last a lifetime.
Or 2, in your case. Come on.
So, definitely, the switch from ME1 to ME2, the games feel different. And there's, even though they've been...
Before you meet with the elusive man,
noticeable
you
difference.
need to ask a few questions to evaluate your condition.
Come on, Miranda. More tests? Shepard took down those mechs without any trouble. That has to be good enough.
It's been 2 years since the attack. The elusive man needs to know that Shepard's personality and memories are intact. Ask the questions.
2 years?
Did you say 2 years? I've been gone that long?
finally
2 years
got
and
onto
12
that.
days, and you were on an operating table for most of it.
The sooner we start, the sooner we can be done. Start with personal history.
Okay. Records show you were a colony kid. Lost your parents when the slavers hit Mindwar. You enlisted, and you survived a Thresher Maw attack that wiped out the rest of your team. Do you remember that?
Evil President Bartlett. I do remember it.
I lost a lot of friends that day. Going through something like that changes you. It can break you if you let it.
I read the report. 50 Marines died on Akuz. You were the only one who lived. Satisfied, Miranda?
Almost. Let's try something more recent. Vermeer, where you destroyed Saren's cloning facility. You had to leave one of your squad behind to die in the blast.
Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams was killed in action. It was your call. Why did you leave her behind?
Oh dear. I mean, in reality, it was not a hard choice. But that is what I'm going to select.
I left a friend to die that day, and I didn't do it casually. But I had to save as many people as I could.
I had to save Kaden.
She gave her life for the rest of the team. Without her, I couldn't have stopped Saren. She died a hero.
I understand, Commander, and I wasn't judging your decision. Everybody at Cerberus knows that cloning facility had to be destroyed.
There are other tests we really should run.
Come on, Miranda. Enough with the quizzes. The memories are there, and I can vouch for Shepard's combat skills personally.
I suppose you're right. We'll have to hope the elusive man accepts our little field test as evidence enough. The elusive man is waiting for you in the other room.
+2 Renegade, +4 Paragon. Alright. I hate to do this again, because I usually don't end up taking a break at all, but I need another break real quick. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. I've been hydrating a lot, and I looked at how much time was left, and I was like, nope, not gonna make that. Okay. So, yeah. I have a lot of Paragon points there, and not much Renegade. Okay, I will save. Thank you for reminding me. Don't want kidney stones. Oh yeah, I don't want that. You escaped the Cerberus medical facility. The elusive man is the next likely source of information. Go speak to the elusive man in the room downstairs. Also, so much Codex! But But now there's new stuff. Let me see what there is.
50,000 years ago, the Protheans were the only spacefaring species in the galaxy. They vanished in a swift galactic extinction. Only the legacy of their empire remains. They are believed to have built the mass relays and the Citadel, which have allowed numerous species to explore and expand throughout the galaxy. Prothean ruins are found on worlds across the galaxy. While surprisingly intact for their age, functioning examples of Prothean paleotechnology are rare. Time and generations of looters have picked their dead cities and derelict stations clean. Some believe the Protheans meddled in the evolution of younger races. The Hanar homeworld of Kajay, for example, shows clear evidence of former Prothean occupation. The presence of a former Prothean observation post on Mars has caused a rebirth of interventionary evolutionists among humans. These individuals believe the god myths of ancient civilizations are misremembered encounters with aliens.
Ancient alien. Got it. You don't know what's new and what's not.
Medigel is a common medicinal salve used by paramedics, EMTs, and military personnel. It combines several useful applications: a local anesthetic, disinfectant, and clotting agent all in one. Once applied, the gel is designed to grip tight to flesh until subjected to a frequency of ultrasound. It is sealable against liquids, most notably blood, as well as contaminants and gases. The gel is a genetically engineered bioplasm created by the CERTA Foundation, a medical technology megacorp based on Earth. Technically, Medigel violates Council laws against genetic engineering, but to date, it has proved far too useful to ban.
Who is the narrator that does the descriptions here? I like his voice. I like how he does it. I just don't know who it is.
Biotics is the ability of rare individuals to manipulate dark energy and create mass effect fields through the use of electrical impulses from the brain. Intense training and surgically implanted amplifiers are necessary for a biotic to produce mass effect fields powerful enough for practical use. The relative strength of biotic abilities varies greatly among species and with each individual. There are three branches of biotics. Telekinesis uses mass-lowering fields to levitate or impel objects. Mass-raising kinetic fields are used to block or pin objects. Spatial distortion uses rapidly shifting mass fields to shred objects. Most organic species are capable of developing biotic abilities, though there are risks involved. Biotics are the result of an in utero exposure to element 0. This usually causes fatal cancers in the victim, but in rare cases, it coalesces into nodules within the fetus's developing nervous system.
We know what ESO is. We know.
0.
I'm gonna skip through some of these because we've just played.
The Systems Alliance space vehicle Normandy is a prototype starship created as a joint human and Turian venture. A frigate optimized for reconnaissance missions, the vessel uses state-of-the-art stealth technology. Most ships generate tremendous heat that is easily detectable against the absolute zero background of space. The Normandy, however, temporarily sinks this heat within its hull. Because of exterior hull refrigeration, the ship can travel undetected for hours, or drift passively for days of covert observation. That heat sinking carries the risk of cooking the crew alive if the stored heat is not eventually radiated.
Out of respect for the Normandy SR-1.
Stealth is the Normandy's revolutionary Tantalus drive, a Mass Effect core double the standard size. The Tantalus generates mass concentrations that the Normandy falls into, allowing it to move without the use of heat-emitting thrusters.
I want to be able to know when new things pop in here, so I have to.
In the early 2160s, the
Arians, Elcor, Geth, Krogan, the Quarians, Reapers, Volus. None of those are new.
The
Citadel, Spectres, that's not new. Organizations, Cerberus.
Immediately following the First Contact War,
an anonymous extranet manifesto warned that an alien attempt at human genocide was inevitable. The manifesto called for an army, a Cerberus, to guard against invasion through the Charon Relay. Derided as survivalist rhetoric written by an elusive man, the manifesto and its anonymous author soon fell off the media radar. But in 2165, terrorists stole antimatter from the SSV Geneva. The sole figure arrested named his sponsor Cerberus. Throughout the 2160s and 2170s, alleged Cerberus agents assassinated politicians, sabotaged starships bearing Ezo, and conducted nightmarish experiments on aliens and humans. Denounced as human supremacist, Cerberus calls itself human survivalist. Counter-terror experts speculate Cerberus may have changed leadership with its recent shift to stockpiling ships, agents, and weapons. Whether he, she, or they, the elusive man hides his finances hidden behind shell companies. Few doubt he will kill anyone attempting to expose him.
Okay. Looking for new entries, because so many of these are ones that we already had. Basically the full codex from Mass Effect 1 in here. Which, I'm not opposed to reading through them again, but at the moment, I just want to know when new codex entries drop. I'm just looking to see if anything looks new. And also, clearing them. Varen. We definitely already had that one. That would have dropped new. Bell. Location. Planets. Close. Fire. That's all. You know all of this. Back. Life. Biotic. Credits. Throne. Great, okay. Thank you for bearing with me while I cleared the codex so that we would know when new codex entries pop. Right. Talk to man.
The elusive man is waiting for you in the other room.
Trust you. Customized gear? Customized gear? Oh, no, there was one. I didn't use it on purpose. Because I wanted to see if there was anything new. But I can't. I have no options. I mean, I'm excited that there is an option. Ooh, oh, I see. I can customize the gear. Yes. Yes. I can go around in pink N7 armor. Oh, yes. Okay. Purples, they're so pretty. I'm probably gonna do dark red because I like that, but that one. At least for now. We can always change it later. Which I can change it. Pattern? Ah. That one's fine. That's okay. Oh, good! Yes! Shoulder guard? Sorry. We discovered this, and so now I have to do... Oh. They're not independently. So we changed all of this. Casual appearance! We get to pick a casual appearance? That. That is like 1980s, like, action hero. We may go for that for a bit. Got a hoodie and a leather jacket. Sorry, we're gonna do the 1980s action hero for a bit, I think. Strangely, I can't change the color of the casual item. Or this would totally be a pink jacket. But amazing. Okay, I'm done distracting myself. I'm gonna advance this. But now I'm in my nice dark red N7 outfit here. I like.
Commander Shepard.
Evil President Bartlett.
Elusive man. I thought we'd be meeting face to face.
Unnecessary precaution. Not unusual for people who know what you and I know.
But do we know?
And what exactly is it that you and I know?
That our place in the universe is more fragile than we'd like to think.
He even looks like him.
That one man, one very specific man, might be all that stands between humanity and the greatest threat of our brief existence.
The Reapers.
Good to see your memory's still intact. How are you feeling?
Yeah, skip it.
Cut to the chase. What are the Reapers doing that made you decide to bring me back?
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack. While you've been sleeping, entire colonies have been disappearing. Human colonies. We believe it's someone working for the Reapers, just as Saren and the Geth aided Sovereign. You've seen it yourself. You bested all of them. That's just one reason we chose you.
Investigate! Cerberus.
Fighting a war doesn't seem like Cerberus. Why are you involved?
We're committed to the advancement and preservation of humanity. If the Reapers are targeting us, trying to wipe us out, Cerberus will stop them. If we wait for politicians or the Alliance to act, no more human colonies will be left.
I'm just thinking of the timeline. Andromeda has to have happened before this point. Like, they have to have launched the arcs for Andromeda before. Because nobody in Andromeda knew anything about the Reapers. So they had to have launched Andromeda, like the arcs launched or the end of Mass Effect 1.
Sovereign was trying to harvest all life in the galaxy. Why would the Reapers target a few human colonies?
Hundreds of thousands of colonists have vanished. I'd say that fits the definition of harvesting. Nobody's paying attention because it's random, and the attacks occur in remote locations. I don't know why they've suddenly targeted humanity. Maybe you got their attention when you killed one of them.
Fighting a war doesn't seem like Cerberus. Why are you involved?
Wait.
We're committed to the advancement and
we got this
preservation
answer
of
already.
humanity. If the Reapers are targeting us, trying to wipe us out, Cerberus will stop them. If we wait for politicians or the Alliance to act, no more human colonies will be left.
Now I don't know which ones I've clicked on. I know I've asked about Cerberus.
Sovereign was
Look at
trying to
abductions.
harvest all life in the galaxy. Why would the Reapers target a few human colonies?
Hundreds of thousands of colonists have vanished. I'd say that fits the definition of harvesting. Nobody's paying attention because it's random, and the attacks occur in remote locations. I don't know why they've suddenly targeted humanity. Maybe you got their attention when you killed one of them.
If this is a threat against humanity, you need to mobilize the Alliance.
They suffered substantial losses fighting Sovereign. They're rebuilding, still stretched too thin to waste resources verifying the Reaper threat. Blaming the abductions on mercs and pirates is easier and more convenient.
I have the settings. Sorry, 1 second. Getting close enough to toward the end that I wanted to have this up so that I can monitor. But that didn't used to cause problems. In Mass Effect 1, I'll have to check the settings. I should be able to switch out of the window without losing the... We've asked Cerberus, we've asked abductions, we've asked Alliance aid, so why me? Plenty of people out there that could fight this fight. Why did you bring me back from death?
You could have trained an entire army for what you spent to bring me back.
You're unique. Not just in ability or what you've experienced, but in what you represent. You stood for humanity at a key moment. You're more than a soldier. You're a symbol. And I don't know if the Reapers understand fear, but you killed one. They have to respect that.
Where do we start? Or maybe I believe you. I'm going with where do we start?
If you're after the Reapers, just point me in the right direction.
Miranda was worried you'd be resistant. She's not usually wrong.
They need to be taken
I have
out.
a shuttle ready to take you to Freedom's Progress, the latest colony to be abducted.
If it's truly them.
Miranda and Jacob will brief you.
I'm supposed to trust them?
Miranda killed Wilson in cold blood. Jacob's just a gun for hire. You expect me to trust them?
Wilson was one of my best agents, but he was a traitor. Miranda did exactly what I expected of her, and she saved your life in more ways than one. Jacob's a soldier, one of the best. He's never fully trusted me, but he's always been honest about it.
That speaks well for him.
You'll be just fine with them. For now.
Is this a volunteer job, or am I being volunteered?
You always have a choice, Shepard. If you don't find the evidence we're both looking for, we can part ways. But first, go to Freedom's Progress. Find any clues you can. Who's abducting the colonies? Do they have any connection to the Reapers? I brought you back. It's up to you to do the rest.
we have Codex Entries! And I also leveled up. Pull. Shockwave to get pull. Don't think I can spend any more. I have 1 point left and don't have anything I can spend it on. So we will save that one. Investigate the missing colonists. The ship is waiting for you in the hangar bay to take you to Freedom's Progress. All the colonists of Freedom's Progress have mysteriously vanished. The elusive man would like a team to investigate servants' disappearances. Look for clues that might explain what happened to the missing colonists. And we got some new Codex Entries. Organization.
Immediately following the reclusive tycoon calling himself the Elusive Man is a human nationalist focused on advancing human interests, whatever the cost to non-humans. The Citadel Council regards him as a fanatic, posing a serious threat to galactic security.
Indeed they should.
A mysterious maverick, to say the least, the Elusive Man heads the Cerberus network. Dubbed the Elusive Empire by investigators, Cerberus is an allegedly untraceable syndicate of private intelligence agencies, biotics laboratories, engineering and scientific research teams, and lucrative front companies. Branded a terrorist and seditionist organization by authorities, Cerberus is the only human power base other than the Terra Firma Party, strong enough to embarrass, if not threaten, the Council and its human representatives. Freedom's Progress colony was once a typical Alliance settlement, but following complete communications blackout and its apparent destruction, is now a lightning rod for anxiety and dread in the galactic human community. The communications blackout followed an upgrade of the colony's small military force, supplemented by mechs and security drones, with high-powered, tower-mounted Guardian lasers. Colonists complained about construction cost overruns, delays, noise, and damage to the local environment. They also feared the defense array could be seen as provocative to their world's neighbors. Such fears may not have been baseless. Authorities have still offered no explanation for the communications blackout, fueling rumors of plagues, natural disasters, or a cult-inspired mass suicide. Located in strategically insignificant space, Freedom's Progress colony had once offered residents spectacular rainbows, lush marshlands, and stunning mountain ranges. Its potential as an agricultural settlement and tourism wonderland rivaled that of any Alliance colony.
The graphics here, this still picture, that looks like it could be a shot right out of Andromeda. Which just is... We have fixed. Okay. I got 4 Renegade and 2 Paragon points that time, apparently.
The Elusive Man is very impressed with you. I'm eager to see if you can live up to his expectations on this mission.
Just remember who's in charge. Thanks for resurrecting me. I'll do my best to sound jealous.
I can't have anyone disobeying my commands when we get there.
I know who I report to. As long as you don't do anything to betray Cerberus, I'll follow your orders.
I'm gonna have to kill her eventually, aren't I?
I never got a chance to say how much I appreciated what the Lazarus Project did for me.
I just hope it was worth it. A lot of people lost their lives on that station.
For someone who spent 2 years putting me back together, you don't seem real fond of me.
I have the utmost respect for your abilities, Shepard. It's your motivations that concern me. I believe in what Cerberus stands for. Only time will tell if you prove to be an asset or a liability to our cause.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a liability to that cause.
What can you tell me about this colony we're going to?
Freedom's Progress? It's a typical human settlement in the Terminus systems. They had a small military force for protection supplemented by mechs and security drones. Average in almost every way, really. Completely unremarkable. Until the disappearance.
Any thoughts on what we might run into there?
A lot of empty buildings and one giant mystery.
I'd like to know more about the Lazarus Project from the person in charge.
I wasn't in charge. The elusive man was. If I was running the show, would have done a few things differently.
Hey?
What would you have changed?
To start, I would have implanted you with some type of control chip. But the elusive man wouldn't allow it. He was afraid it might affect your personality, alter your character somehow. He wouldn't let us do anything that might limit your potential in any way.
I'm glad he was in charge.
I like the idea of being brought back to life with a control chip in my brain.
The elusive man is taking an incredible risk with you. I just hope his gamble pays off.
Tell me a little about yourself.
Worried about my qualifications? I can crush a mech with my biotics or shoot its head off at 100 yards. Take your pick.
This is the flirt option. I am not going to be flirting with Miranda.
Did you and Jacob serve together in the Alliance?
No, the elusive man recognized my potential and recruited me at a young age.
How old were you?
Old enough to know this is what I wanted.
It's obvious you're not interested in talking.
We've got an assignment. We can talk about it or we can do it.
Right. Don't know what I'm supposed to do. Oh, mission complete. Oh, a faction. Rate, experience gained 1,000, level earned 5, squad points gained 2. Shepard escaped attack on the facility along with operatives Taylor and Lawson. Facility destroyed by remote detonation. Salvage teams will ensure no incriminating data survived. Per Miranda's recommendation, I'm running security sweeps on other cells to ensure that Wilson was our only mole. Regardless of the cost, Project Lazarus was a success. Shepard is back. You received the following bonuses for importing a level 55 character into Mass Effect 2. Plus 3,500 experience, start at level 4. Plus 146,000 credits, plus 9,000 etho, plus 9,000 iridium, plus 9,000 palladium, plus 9,000 platinum, plus 190 paragon, and plus 25 renegade. M100 grenade launcher. Rapid fire grenade launcher favored by Bloodpack Vorcha mercenaries. Capable of taking down multiple enemies with a single well-placed shot. Effective against armor, shields, and biotic barriers. Cerberus funding, 3,750. Credits found, 7,500. Total credits earned, 11,250.
We should be there shortly, Shepard. The elusive man put us under your command. Do you have any orders?
What did you find at the other colonies?
Nothing. No signs of attack, no corpses, not even a trace of unusual genetic material to give us a clue. They just disappear. And we've got no target to go after.
Are you sure you'll be comfortable following my orders?
We didn't bring you back from the dead just to second guess you, Commander. If the elusive man says you're in charge, you're in charge.
What makes you think this investigation will turn up anything new?
At other colonies, official investigators got there first. Sometimes looters or salvage teams as well. We're hoping to be the first ones there this time. Maybe find clues before somebody else disturbs the scene.
Okay.
Our first priority is to look for survivors.
That's unlikely, Commander.
Unlikely doesn't mean impossible.
Colonies. They were completely deserted.
Be nice to find somebody. Anything's better than another ghost town.
I was a colonist, and I was the sole survivor. So we'll look for survivors first. It's a snowplane! Cool little space car. Fully equipped. Ooh, I have new weapons? M3 Predator heavy pistol, M23 katana shotgun, M4 shuriken machine pistol, and an M100 grenade launcher. I don't have a sniper rifle! Okay, I will survive. Incendiary ammo. Full overload. Warp. Shockwave. Charge, pull, shockwave. Warp. Okay. I only checked because that was what I used in the previous game, like, all the time. Can't jump, so I won't be able to get back up if I jump off of there.
Looks like everyone just got up and left right in the middle of dinner.
So far, it just seems
strange.
like
No bodies, no structural damage, and no signs of battle.
seems like everybody disappeared. It's like the Roanoke colony. But he's just gone. Yeah, I know where the current objective is. Game thing. I'm not allowed to look around. Uh-oh.
Someone reprogrammed them to attack on sight. We're not alone here.
Clearly. Parts. Uh-oh. Yeah, gonna need to get better with which abilities are where, but it's fine. Alright, let's try this. $1,000 credits. Okay. Got some security mechs. The death of thousands of security and military personnel in the Battle of the Citadel was a loss felt throughout the galaxy, as large numbers of qualified personnel transferred to the Citadel to replace those that died. Short-handed security companies filled out their numbers with large-scale use of unmanned security robots. Commonly referred to as mechs, the security robots are typically grouped into light and heavy varieties. Light mechs come in a variety of sizes but are easily distinguished by opposable digits that help them in their versatile security roles. Heavy mechs lack digits and are simply weapons platform, intended to keep the peace in high-threat areas. The quadrupedal dog mech has a face, composed of contraband detection sensors, and it too is armed in case a perpetrator resists arrest. A typical security mech has an extremely limited virtual intelligence. Its duty is straightforward and narrow, usually to guard an area, run a friend or foe program to halt unauthorized access, and fire a set of pre-recorded voice commands to warn troublemakers away from the area. Light security mechs are equipped with irritant sprays and electroshockers to force compliance, and heavy mechs may be outfitted with flashbang stunners for similar purposes. When facing an opponent armed with a firearm, any mech will immediately resort to lethal anti-personnel weapons. Neutralize the threat. If the situation turns violent rapidly enough, it may not even use its warnings. Security mechs are frowned upon for actual military duty. Though tough enough to survive most firefights, their VI simply does not have the programming to plan an ambush, rescue a hostage, treat a wound, or any of countless other objectives that a soldier might be able to perform on the fly. Alright, we're gonna save. Because we have reached the end of our time for today, and GaryCon is already live. So I'm going to switch us to credits screen. So far, I'm enjoying it. Like, the end of Mass Effect 1 was really, really good. Mass Effect 2, the game mechanics are slightly different. It has a different feel to it already. But it is, like, it feels like an improvement. So they smoothed things out, so it's not a drastic jump, but I'm definitely enjoying it. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming by. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying this immensely. I definitely want to say thank you to Was Not Worth It for being a supporter on Coffee, and thank you to Just a Ray of Trans Sunshine for your follow today. And Lord Portico, thank you so much for the 100 Corgo bits. It does mean a lot to me to have your support. I definitely am excited for this new game. We finished a game and we're moving into the next one, and so far it looks amazing. I'm live again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Because we weren't able to get the PS2 functional for A Fistful of Boomstick. So tomorrow at 7, probably going to either do Seventh Guest or American Mickey's Alice. Stop by and find out. It should be a fun time regardless. And then, of course, following tomorrow, we will raid into Q Times for the final episode of Blood of the Void. So that should be good. We will be raiding in just a minute over to GaryCon Live for the next episode, episode 26 of the Gax Pack. the TTRPG actual play that is happening on the GaryCon Live channel. It is spectacular and hilarious, and so you should definitely join the raid and give them all a hello over there. So until I see you next time, get out there.